Well, good day to all of our awesome internet and mobile marketing friends, family, and following. T. Lamont Silver Sr. here. Everyone calls me T. Lamont, but obviously you probably know that by now if you're watching this. Or maybe someone has gotten this recording over to you. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't happen often. It doesn't happen often that something comes across our desk and we say, oh my gosh, this is something that not only do we need to employ, but we have to get it out to our audience. Doesn't happen often. Doesn't happen often, and it doesn't happen often. A very dear buddy of mine sent me some information, and out of my respect for him, because he and I have been tied to the hip in some form or fashion for a few years now, I took a look, and at first I said, no, this can't be. This can't be. It can't be. You mean to tell me that my average guy who's not good at recruiting or sponsoring or building a list, my Joe Average, he can make money every day and it's not a Ponzi? That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. You mean to tell me that Sue Average, who's not good at building a list, or she's not good at converting, she can make money every single day and it's not a Ponzi, it's not a revenue share like some of the ones that we've seen in the past? Can't be, can't be. And then I looked a little bit further and I saw, well, what about that person who's a leader? What about that person who has a following? You mean that they can make just huge sums of revenue? Nah, not quite. So even though my buddy, who I have a profound respect for, shared this with me, I had to do a lot more digging. And when I did the digging, I spoke with a gentleman by the name of Russ, and he answered all my questions. It just made all the sense in the world after he shared with me. And I asked Russ if he would do me a very big favor and have the conversation that I had with him, but on a recorded basis, so that those of you, as you hear this, I'm sure I'm going to ask some of the same questions you would have asked, maybe even go deeper in some of the questions. And so I want to thank my very special guest, Russ, who has come on the webinar to share about this amazing opportunity. Let me say this before Russ starts to take it from there. I don't care what you're doing, okay? Those of you who follow us intimately, you know that we believe in multiple streams of income. You know that I'm really big about an e-commerce business with Amazon and things of that nature, and we've got other things going on. I don't care what you are promoting. I don't care what you're building. I don't care what you're doing. Make sure you take the time to go through this entire video, however long it is, all right, entire video, and listen to what Russ has to say. So with that being said, let's turn it over to a gentleman who's now become a very dear buddy, Russ. How you doing, Russ? Russ, can you hear me?
Oh, I lost. Oh, I just lost you for 1 second. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Okay. So Russ, let me do the quick disclaimer. Neither Russ nor I are in the U.S. Russ is in a totally different country than I am, but neither one of us are in the U.S. And as a result, from time to time, I know I have some internet connectivity issues from time to time. Russ may experience the same thing. So just be mindful of that. If Russ goes out, he'll come back on. If I go out, then I'll come back on, so on and so forth. Okay, with that being said, Russ, the floor is yours, and I'll just probably ask some questions from time to time. So, Russ, how about you just kind of give us an idea, just the 30,000 square foot view of what's going on,
Yep.
sir?
Absolutely. And I'm hoping that most of the people that are watching this will have already been to the Bitclub Network site and have watched the videos. There's 3 different videos on there. What is Bitcoin? What is Bitcoin mining? And what is Bitclub? And a lot of people have heard of Bitcoin, but they don't understand it. And that's where the real vision of this, that I think by the end of this everybody will have, is that we all remember, well, not all of us, there's going to be some young people listening to this, but I can remember back in the day, and you remember back in the day, when the internet was out, everybody had heard of the internet, but
Right.
only 2% of people were actually on the internet. And if we knew then what we know now, we would be billionaires.
Right,
we would have
right.
been able to do so many different things. And so Bitcoin is at that stage right now. Everybody's heard of Bitcoin.
Gotcha.
Very few people understand it. A lot of people jump to conclusions about
Gotcha.
what it is. I did that myself. And
Okay.
Bitcoin, if you've watched that video, you'll understand it's a vehicle for people to send money anywhere in the world instantaneously with almost no fees, um, no chargebacks. I mean, it's just unhackable, completely safe. And it's really changing the way commerce is done. There are billion-dollar-a-year companies like Dell Computers and Dish Network and different companies like that that are accepting Bitcoin. You can even book a vacation on Expedia.com with Bitcoin. In the U.S. alone,
Oh, I
there's
didn't
over
know that.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And there's over 100,000 businesses in the U.S. alone that accept Bitcoin. There's Bitcoin ATM networks being established all over the world. There's people using Bitcoin ATMs right now worldwide. And Bitcoin is growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. And a lot of people really view Bitcoin as like to take over the world's monetary system. I mean, it's that powerful, and it's just an amazing, amazing technology. And so I don't even look at Bitcoin as far as the vision. I don't even look at Bitcoin as a huge internet company like you would think of Google as a huge internet company if I would have got Google
Sure.
stock way in the beginning, or any other, Amazon as another internet company that does something completely different from Google. And if I would have got in on the beginning of Amazon, like, I don't even relate Bitcoin to an internet company that's brand new. I relate Bitcoin to the entire internet, like that scale.
Whoa. Wait. I gotta write that one down.
Right.
I gotta write that one down. All right.
Like, I really look at Bitcoin as that kind of scale of how big this could be in 5, 10, 15 years. Most people that are listening to this have not, done any research on Bitcoin. They don't own any Bitcoin. They haven't used Bitcoin. But in the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years, everybody will be using Bitcoin, just like everybody uses the internet today. So, I mean, not everybody's on Facebook, not everybody uses Amazon, not everybody uses Google, not everybody uses Yahoo,
Gotcha.
but everybody uses the internet.
Gotcha.
And
Gotcha.
you will be going into McDonald's and everywhere else, and Walmart, and just all the different stores that are out there, and it's going to be Visa, MasterCard, cash, or Bitcoin.
Gotcha.
It,
And
it's
I'm
going to be
already
like
seeing
that.
some of that. I mean, like online,
Yeah,
I'm seeing some of that already where I'm like, wow, they accept Bitcoin. They accept Bitcoin. Good grief, they
right.
accept Bitcoin. Okay, okay.
Yeah, and not just that, but we talk about Bitcoin, but I want everybody to understand Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. There's over 400 cryptocurrencies. There are governments, countries that have launched their own cryptocurrencies. About a week ago from when this was made, the Czech Republic actually launched their own cryptocurrency.
Whoa.
So actual countries, the governments are launching their own cryptocurrencies.
And a
And again,
cryptocurrency. So Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency.
correct. And it's the first and most well known. But if you go out there and if you want to pull up Cryptsy as an example, or
How do you spell
Coin
that?
Wars, CRYPTSY,
Okay, and what was the other one? Coin.
Coin Wars with a Z.
Okay, I tell you what. I'm gonna go. Give me a moment. I'm gonna go and pull those up. Give me just a moment here. I'm gonna go and pull those up.
So, and this is just to show that there's a lot of different cryptocurrencies out there, and a lot of them have a lot of value and are being used the exact same way as Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's the one that gets all the, recognition, what's the word I'm looking for?
Whoops.
Accolades, and
Accolades. Okay.
yeah, that's what everybody's heard of, but there's so many different ones. And like if you like, there's Cryptsy right there. You can trade over 150 different types of
Ah, right there.
cryptocurrencies right there. So you
Gotcha.
could do that with
Gotcha.
Bitcoin to Litecoin, Darkcoin. Like there's so many different ones, and you can trade these different cryptocurrencies, and that'll come into
Okay.
play later on in this recording when we talk about, even other future revenue streams for BitClub Network.
Ah, okay. So let me just stop for just a moment. I want to go back real quickly. I want to go back real quickly. So, um, there's going to be 3 videos that hopefully will precede this recording. What is Bitcoin? What is Bitcoin mining? And so the name of the opportunity that we're discussing is Bitclub Network.
Correct.
So Bitcoin is like you're referencing that like the internet, where the internet was, years and years ago. People knew of the internet but had no idea the wealth potential of leveraging the internet. And that's where we
Yep.
are with Bitcoin. Um, but Bitcoin, you look at Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies or digital currencies as like the internet. It's on the internet is much bigger than Amazon, as big as Amazon is, the world's largest online retailer. The internet is bigger than Facebook, as big as Facebook is. The internet is the internet. It houses all of that. You're saying that cryptocurrencies, particularly, let's say like a Bitcoin and maybe others that will gain in popularity, um, is where things are headed. Can we stop that? Can a U.S. government, can a Europe, a UK, is Australia going to be able to
No,
stop that?
no, it can't be
Okay.
stopped because of the math on the whole thing. It's unhackable. Um, it's been installed on the internet, and just to give you an idea, to hack into this, like a random code generator, um, all the different wallet addresses and crypto keys and the very technical stuff, um, is all based on 32 digits of numbers, uppercase letters, and lowercase letters. To try and hack this, the amount of different combinations there are to try and hack in is the same as if you took every grain of sand on Earth and turned
Oh,
every
you
single
said
one
this
of those.
yesterday. You,
Yeah,
you
and if
said
you
this
took
yesterday. Okay. Okay. Go
yeah,
on. I'm
and if
sorry.
you took yeah, that's all right. And if you took every single grain of sand on Earth and turned every single one of those into another Earth, and then took all of those grains of sand on all the Earths that we now have, that's how many combinations we have. It would take a million years to try and hack that. So the only way anything's going to happen to Bitcoin or the other cryptocurrencies is if the internet exploded, and the internet is not going to explode.
Wow.
That's not going to
Wow.
happen. And so it's there. So what you will see is governments trying to put on regulations onto Bitcoin companies, because there's lots, same as the internet. I mean, think about this. On
Okay.
the internet, you got millions of different companies doing business on the internet,
Right.
and those businesses are located somewhere.
Right.
And so there are, companies, or regulations in whatever country, state,
Got
that
you.
put regulations on the company, but there's nothing they can do to Bitcoin. Like
Got you.
I've even read articles about, some governments want to ban Bitcoin, some governments want to do this and this and this in Bitcoin, and they talk about how it's so interesting that some of these governments want to do this, yet there's nothing they can do. Like it's
Mm.
there. And
Got you.
in Bitcoin and all cryptocurrencies, once they're installed on the internet, they're not run by anybody. They have their set parameters. They're not run by anybody or controlled by anybody at all.
Mm.
It's just it's there and it's done. Like it's going to go. So yeah, it's not going to go anywhere. And if you look at the money venture capital companies have put into investment into different types of cryptocurrency companies, and we're talking about not just mining operations, but wallets, exchanges, ATM networks, and there's 100 different types of companies all based around Bitcoin and other
Wow.
cryptocurrencies. And we're talking about more money in the first 5 years of Bitcoin has been invested than in the first 5 years of the internet was invested.
Whoa. Whoa.
Right.
Whoa, whoa, let me stop. Let me make sure I get that, even if I don't type it all out. You're telling me that this cryptocurrency world, and I am going to go back to
Right.
coinwars.com so you can tell us what you want to share there in a moment. You're telling me that in the first 5 years of digital currencies, cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin,
Hmm.
that there
Hmm.
has been more venture capital flowing into cryptocurrencies than there was in the first 5 years of the internet.
Correct.
My
So
gosh.
yeah, so you had venture capital companies during the dot-com boom that were
Mm-hmm.
investing in all of these online companies.
Mm-hmm.
And if you
Right.
take all that money and add it up in the first 5 years, and you take all the money added up that's been invested into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency companies, more money has been invested in cryptocurrency companies.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
And see,
that's what I
I
mean.
mean, I remember I used to trade the stock market very actively back in the late '90s, and this was before the stock market bubble and burst. And all anything that had a .com, if it went IPO, I mean, my gosh, it went through the
Right.
roof. And obviously, that was venture capital coming in to help promote those names and what have you. Oh my gosh.
Right. Well, okay. Well, here's another thing that we didn't talk about yesterday.
Okay.
So the guys, the Winklevoss twins that sued Mark Zuckerberg, who owns Facebook, and they got a huge payout of hundreds of millions of dollars. And they have done a lot of different startups because they have Winklevoss Investments, and they've done a lot of different startups. They're on, Bloomberg and CNN Money, all these different shows. They have actually started their own Bitcoin ETF, and that's launching on the New York Stock Exchange.
Whoa, whoa!
Right,
Exchange traded funds,
right,
and that's launching on the NYSE, New York Stock Exchange.
right. And the symbol's going to be COIN, coin. Yeah. I mean,
I
that's,
don't think this. Wow.
yeah, yeah. So, and now also, I didn't give you, I might have given you the site. I did give you the site yesterday. But if people want
Okay.
to see and read lots of different news all about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and all the different companies involved,
Okay.
a good site is CoinDesk.com. And on CoinDesk, they can put in their email address and just join the mailing list. And every day you're going to get tons of updates on just different news that's happening in the world about this. And you can go back and read stuff from yesterday or a week ago or a month ago or wherever.
Gotcha.
And so right there, like if you just scroll down a little bit, bootstrapping a Bitcoin startup amid Argentina's financial uncertainty. Argentina, because of everything they've just gone through, and some people might not know about it, basically the whole country just went bankrupt. Now they're talking about starting a whole new financial system all based on cryptocurrency.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Right. And then right
Wow.
there, Japanese politician to crowdfund Bitcoin research tour. There's actually U.S. politicians that are taking, campaign contributions in Bitcoin only. They're not even taking cash, Bitcoin only. It was passed in Congress that all politicians in the U.S. can now accept donations for their campaign contributions in Bitcoin. And remember, Bitcoin is anonymous. When
Ah.
elections start coming up in November and some of these companies want to send anonymously millions of dollars to a politician, mm-hmm,
So now I know.
yeah,
Now we know why they passed that one.
right. So, yeah, I mean, and again, you can go through here and read tons and tons and tons and tons of stuff till your mind melts. I mean,
Wow.
there's just so much going on with it. It's crazy. And you
Wow.
can even, I think on this site, if you scroll to the top, I think there's even a place where you can look at all of the venture capital. Where's it at? Click on data. What's the drop down for data there?
Okay. There it is there.
State of Bitcoin reports, Bitcoin venture capital, right there.
Right.
Bitcoin ATM map. I mean, just to give you an idea on
And
what's
you keep
being.
on. Oh wow. Yes, because this is showing total funding in millions of dollars here.
Right, and
Whoa.
that's the date,
Whoa.
and that's just
Yeah. Yeah.
from venture
Right.
capital companies. That's not from just individuals starting companies. Like, I mean, Bitcoin Network would
Right.
be in this if the company had gotten money from a venture capital company, but these guys didn't need it. So,
Gotcha.
yep,
Gotcha. 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 So, oh, now let me go back before we go on. Uh, you had us to pull up coin wars,
right.
and what was it that you wanted to say about coin wars when we pull that up?
Well, Coin Wars, a few different things. Number one, this is going to show you the most profitable currencies compared to Bitcoin, and also show how easy it is to mine and what's the most profitable coin to mine. And there's different sites like this, but if you like scroll down and people see like some of this different stuff, it's very technical information that's
Okay.
more
Okay.
programmers would deal with. But just to show you a
Okay.
list of how closely this is tracked and how open source it is. I mean, this is not like when people go, how do you know that? It's just math. All of this information is public knowledge. Everything's
Gotcha.
tracked.
Okay.
So it's, yeah, I
Gotcha.
mean, there's
Gotcha.
no guessing. It's just math.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So we've established that cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, and other coins, which are obviously like in this example, you got Bitcoin here, and then you've got Firefly Coin and Peer Coin and D-Note and Bitbar. So these are all cryptocurrencies. There's over 400, I believe you said, of
Yep.
these cryptocurrencies. That's not going anywhere. You've got a country that's adopting a cryptocurrency. Did you say they came up with their own for their? Is that for their
The
national
Czech
currency?
Republic, well, the Czech Republic just launched a cryptocurrency. Of course, the Czech Republic still has their normal fiat currency and paper
Gotcha.
money. And see, and that's another thing about cryptocurrencies. And if people watch the video already, they'll know this. A government that is in control of the money, the fiat currency, they can print as much as they want and put it into circulation. And really, all the fiat currencies, those are Ponzi schemes, especially the way they're run, because they just keep
That's
dumping
okay.
more and more and
Okay.
more and more money. And it's like, okay, what's the most dollars that can be put out there? What's the most UK pounds that can put out there?
Gotcha.
As
Gotcha.
many as they want.
Gotcha.
And with Bitcoin, there are 12 million coins in circulation. Eventually, there'll be 21 million in circulation, and there will never be any more than that. And the way that new coins go into circulation isn't by somebody just making the decision to do it. It's done by Bitcoin mining.
Okay.
It takes Bitcoin mining to make the entire system work, and the people that are doing the Bitcoin mining, they're rewarded with new coins going into circulation. So if
Ah.
you take Bitcoin, and right now with Bitcoin, 25 new coins go into circulation every 7 to 10 minutes. And you can see that on Coin Wars. I mean, it shows right there what's the reward. Like it shows it.
You said every
So I mean,
seven to
again,
ten, every 7 to 10 minutes.
yeah, and I believe it
Okay.
says 10 minutes on there, but as they make the math harder and then there's more stuff going on, I don't know if you can enlarge it because it's hard to see, but you can see on there like how many coins. It says 25 coins. See where it says Bitcoin and then
Okay.
network something, and below that
Okay.
it says block. It
Gotcha.
says
Right here.
block
Right
reward.
here.
It says block reward 25.
Yes.
25
And I
coins.
tell you, in the editing
And
of
then and
this,
then
in
and
the
then look at
editing
time.
of this, ladies and gentlemen, I want to make sure you see that. Okay.
Right. And then you see block time 10 minutes. So
Gotcha.
25 coins
Okay.
every 10 minutes. So 25 coins times 6, so 60 minutes, that's 150 coins an hour, times 24 hours in a day, oh, 3,600
3,600.
coins. Now, at the moment, Bitcoin is just over $500. It's 510. So times $510. So that's 1
1.8.
million, 8 million a day right now is being mined in Bitcoin.
Whoa, whoa,
That's
whoa, whoa,
just
whoa, 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 whoa! Because we didn't cover that yesterday.
right.
Wait, you're saying that in the mining process, there's 1.8 million just in Bitcoin that's being mined per day by these miners that I had no knowledge of
Right.
prior to
Every
some
day.
conversations. Okay, all right.
Right. Every day. And that's just Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is not the most profitable coin to mine. And so the programmers that are behind Bitclub Network, they've actually set up algorithms in a program where it's always looking to see what's the most profitable coin to mine. Again, this is all public information. They've set it up where they've programmed this. So they're always going out mining the most profitable coin. So you're talking about
Okay.
billions of dollars are going to be made in cryptocurrency mining. Somebody's going to get that money. Period. End of story. Whether it's a gold mine, diamond mine, platinum mine, or a cryptocurrency mine, somebody's going to get that money. And when we talk a little bit more about the cryptocurrency mining and how all the different mining operations are run and how this is run a little bit differently, it's all going to make sense. So that's real money being made on a daily
Whoa,
basis.
whoa, whoa! So when we go back to this number here, this
Mm-hmm.
1.8 million,
Mm-hmm.
just in Bitcoin,
Right.
somebody somewhere or somebody's, all right,
Right.
somewhere is tapping into $1.8 million a day.
A day.
There are 400 plus cryptocurrencies now, probably more
Right.
will come about.
Right.
And Bitcoin at 1.8 million a day is not the most profitable coin to mine.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like to me, I might want to somehow be a part of this whole mining network, but I wouldn't have a clue as to what to do to participate in this whole mining process.
Right. Correct. And if you wanted to get into Bitcoin mining 3 or 4 years ago, you could get it. I mean, and you'd have to really understand it and be almost a programmer to get involved. But you could have got involved for 20, 30,000 and been real profitable. Um, but as the math gets harder and the computer systems get more technical and faster and just the whole 9 yards, they run hotter and hotter and hotter. And again, some of this is covered in what is Bitcoin mining in that
Gotcha. Okay.
video.
Okay.
Um, but then to have a mine that's really, really profitable today, you're talking about startup costs of, $1 million to $3 million, and they're
Whoa.
figuring next year for somebody to start a mine and be, really profitable, 20 to $30 million.
Whoa.
It's getting harder and harder and harder. Yeah, because as the whole thing grows, as you're getting more and more and more and more computing power working on the math to make the whole system run, there's just way more computing power. So to keep it where it stays at 10 minutes instead of 4 seconds, they make the
Ah.
math harder and harder and harder and
Okay.
harder and harder. So for you to compete with all of the mines that are out there, it takes a lot more computing power, which takes a lot more electricity, which takes a lot more cooling,
Gotcha.
programming to do the things like we're doing, well, the company's
Gotcha.
doing. Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So it would be very difficult for Joe Average to Say, okay, man, this makes a lot of sense. I want to be a cryptocurrency miner. Boy,
Hmm.
that'd be rough. That'd be very,
Yeah.
very tough. And even if he had capital to do that, you were telling me yesterday, for instance, that someone who's mining now and they're making XYZ now, 6 months from now, because of the difficulty of the math and all the other variables, might be making just a small portion of that.
Well, yeah, and see, and here, that's where computing power comes in,
Okay.
and that's where Bitclub Network is different from all the other crypto mines out there. And people right now, I mean, anybody can go look up Bitcoin mining or cryptocurrency mining, and there's 100 different companies that people can go and pay 100, 500, 1,000, 2,000, 50,000, a million, whatever level you want to get involved, you can. But it's the exact same as if you went to a computer store today to buy yourself a brand new laptop and you got the fastest,
Yeah.
greatest laptop there was today.
Hmm.
2 months from now, there's something better. And I want you to think of the games. I'm not a gamer, but there's a lot of gamers out there, and the graphics keep getting better and better and better and better
Yeah.
and better and better. And somebody that is really into gaming, when they had a top of the line computer 2 years ago,
Right.
that is worthless now on the same game they were playing 2 years ago because
Right.
everything has gotten so much more
Right.
evolved. It's the
Right.
exact same with this. As the math gets harder and harder and harder and harder and harder, if you're stuck with the same computing power you had 6 months ago, you're getting way less return because the math has gotten so much harder.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And all of the mines that are out there, you're paying for computing power of today.
Is that what's
So,
called a mining pool when you're talking
right, a
about?
mining pool, yeah, mining pool, they have everything set up for you where you don't have to do any of the work, you just buy into it. Like, this is not a new concept what BitClub Network is doing as far as Bitcoin mining. There's lots of mining pools that the average person can get involved with and
And
not
so
have
the
to
average
know anything.
so the average person, because this is where my conversation with you, I said, oh, wait a minute, now I get it, because initially, when my buddy sent me the information, it was, hey, this is a way that you can get paid every day, even if you don't have a list, and those kinds of things. And
Right,
immediately my mind goes to, boy, I love the fact that people can get paid every day, but is it going to be around? Is it a Ponzi?
right,
So on and so forth. You're telling me there already are hundreds of mining pools in
yep,
the cryptocurrency world where I
hmm,
could go to one of many and say, hey, I've got some capital, whatever that amount happens to be.
right.
And what I'm doing is I'm essentially putting money in that mine that's helping buy some computing power. But the challenge
Yep.
is buying that computer power, what I'm getting today, 6 months from now, they may need more computing power, and I'm kind of locked in
Right.
to 6 months, technology
Well,
that's
it's
6 months
normally
old.
it's normally a year contract, and
Oh,
so every week or two the math gets harder in mining, and so your computing power, like just as an example, show you how much harder mining gets. If you had computer equipment that was top of the line that you purchased 6 months ago,
okay.
today it would make 2% of the Bitcoin that it did
Oh,
6 months ago.
wait a minute, wait a minute. So if I went to ABC Mining Company, I have some capital, whatever that amount happens to be, and I'm locked into a 1 year contract. So I started making, let's say, decent money today, maybe even really good money today,
Right.
with other mining companies 6 months from now.
Hmm.
Give me a moment. I want to make sure I put this up. 6 months from now, my I still bought. I don't know what do you call it. If I'm buying into a mining pool, am I buying
You could
is
look
it a
at you could
share or
look at
unit?
megahertz or G hash. I mean, you're buying an actual amount of computing power. So, like,
Okay,
I was just looking at one the other day. You're getting 12 G hash of power for $1,000 for 1 year.
okay,
But 12 G hash of power 1 year from now it might
Ah,
take 1,000 G hash to make the same Bitcoin that it takes 12 G hash this minute.
okay, okay, okay.
So imagine what your difference of income is going to be over a 1 year period of time.
Now, before we get into the income here, what makes BitClub Network different than the other hundreds of mining pools that are out there? Because it sounds like, man, if I had $1,000, I'm making good money today with some of these mines, but a year from now, it's maybe if it's two
Right,
percent. Oh my gosh, what
right.
makes BitClub Network different?
Okay, so the main thing is the way the whole pool is run. This one, it doesn't matter if somebody comes in today or 6 months from now, they're getting the exact same amount of computing power. They have one share of the pool. If they
Okay,
came in for 1,000, they'd have two shares. If they came in for 2,000, they'd have four shares. I mean, it's just very simple. And then
okay.
all the Bitcoin that's made is split with the shares. It's just that simple. So it doesn't matter on the math getting harder, because as more people are joining and there's more people repurchasing, because a percent, I mean, we all know any kind of mine, you're always going to have to be repairing equipment, buying new equipment,
Gotcha.
whether gold mine, a farm, I mean, whatever it is. And so a percentage of all the Bitcoin that's earned by somebody is automatically reinvested, which they're getting another percentage of a share, but they're getting a share of the entire mine. So as there's
Mm.
reinvestment and there's new people joining, more and more and more and more and more computing equipment, the fastest that available is always being purchased. So they're always in for the fastest equipment.
Hold on, let me jot that one down. The fastest equipment, the most updated equipment, the top of the line technology
Yep.
is always being purchased. And so what happens is whether I join today and I don't know what you call it. Is it buying a share, buying a unit, buying
Yeah,
computing
just
power,
buying, you're
whatever?
buying a yeah, you're buying a share of the pool.
Okay, all right, okay. So whether I join today and make a purchase, or whether I join 6 months from now and make a purchase, whenever that person joins and makes a purchase, or they take um, earnings from the pool and they repurchase, that's all going to make sure that BitClub Network is always on the cutting edge of technology, but having the fastest things so that it can produce the most results in terms of earning more and more and more and more and more and more coins.
Correct.
Got it. Got it. Got it. And again, mining pools, this is not something that BitClub Network came up with.
No, 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 no. It's been around for years. In fact, if you pull up that one site we looked at yesterday, cex.io,
Okay.
they're the largest. And see, and that's where we're also different, is that the guys behind this, they've actually set up the programming to where the system's always going to be mining the most profitable coin, which 98, 99% of the time is not going to be Bitcoin. But as that coin's mined, it's instantly turned into Bitcoin. So everybody will
Okay.
be
Okay. So let me
receiving
make.
Bitcoin, but it's not, the mine's not mining Bitcoin, but it's just turned into Bitcoin, and then everybody's paid their share of Bitcoin that was made for the day. So, like if you
So
scroll
let's
down,
like if we went back to coin order. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You
if you
go on. You
scroll
lead the
down
way,
real
sir.
quick,
I'm scrolling down. Okay.
all right. So when you see pool speed, it shows you how big their pool is, and market coverage, 24% of Bitcoin. So they're focused on Bitcoin, and they have 266,000 people that have put money in there. And I mean, that's a lot of people that are mining Bitcoin that are a part of this pool.
Ah.
But they're
Ah.
locked into computing power of today
Okay.
for a year, and
Okay.
they're mining Bitcoin just as an average thing would mine. And what's kind of rough about this is I actually had a friend of mine that I first heard about Bitcoin from that got involved with this,
Okay.
and he was excited about it, bought in for $10,000 into this, and next thing you know, 3, 4 weeks later, it started being less and less and less and less and less and less. And so he's been involved with this for about 6 months, and he's only made back, I don't know, 6,000 of his $10,000. And
Gotcha.
now that $10,000 is making him almost nothing. So it's looking like he might even lose money getting involved in mining. And this company, their whole objective is selling mining power. That's their whole
Gotcha. Okay.
objective.
Okay. Okay.
Where if they would have run their pool the way BitClub Network's running our pool,
Okay.
everybody that bought into it is sharing everything, even with the newest equipment. Because 6 months ago, you were buying way less computing power for the same
Gotcha.
money.
Gotcha. 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 And I gotta say, I mean, I'm looking at this now, and so what you're saying is, and I don't know if CEX.io pays any type of referral, anything, or what have you.
I think they pay 3% one time. So you were like, if you referred me
Okay.
and I bought $10,000 worth, you would make $300, 3% one time. If I ever bought any more, you aren't. I don't think you're getting anything after that. But even if you did, it's 3%, and that's it.
Okay, and hold on for everyone, because we're going to get to what this means for your bottom line. What I wanted to have happen, and this is, this is going far above and beyond even my expectations, is I want you to understand this is real. Okay, this is real. This is not buying a bid to go into a penny auction. This is real. It's already happening.
I never got involved in any of those deals. I mean, everybody's heard of Zeek Rewards and Better Living and Telex Free and all these different ones. And I used to always say to all these guys that would try to get me in these deals, I'm like, look, this is math. It's a Ponzi scheme. No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm like, okay, look, explain to me one simple question. How in the world can every single person make more money than they put in if there's no outside money coming in? That's not possible. They're like, but it's working. Yeah, it's working for a minute. Bernie Madoff's worked for 20 years, and all he was paying was 12% a year. 12% a year, and these people are showing me 25% a month, and I'm like, how can a company pay 25% a month when this guy couldn't pay 12% a year? And he ran NASDAQ. He was a really smart guy. And the only thing they could say is, Russ, you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, okay, I can't add 2 plus 2. All right, if you say so. So yeah, this is different. This, at whatever point, whether there was 1,000 people or 10,000 people or 100,000 people, and at whatever point no new people joined, it wouldn't matter, because Bitcoin is flowing in, which is money, which is then a percent is going back in automatically to continue to move it forward and buy new equipment every single day. So with this, there's really no new people necessary for this to run.
And this is where when you go back. I'm sorry, Russ. I didn't mean to cut you off, buddy. This is when you go back to when we just looked at one cryptocurrency, which was Bitcoin. We just looked at one, and we saw that 1.8 million, based on today's Bitcoin prices, 1.8 million is being mined. Somebody's getting that 1.8 million, and here's this particular pool is getting, a piece of that. The problem with your buddy that you were talking about is he got locked in to computing for a year, and 3 months, 4 months down the road, that same computing power doesn't produce the same results.
Exactly. And look at how much Bitcoin's been mined since they launched. 443,000 Bitcoins. Times 500.
Ooh, I got to do that one. I don't know if my calculator will go up that high. Times what are we? Let's just say 500. It's a little bit more than that. Oh my gosh, that's 221 million. Just from this one mine.
Right.
Whoa.
Right. Right.
Whoa. Okay. Okay. And then go back real quickly, going back to what was it? Corn Wars. Again, you were talking about the fact that that particular mine is mining Bitcoin, but
Right.
you're saying that Bitcoin isn't the most profitable coin to mine.
Correct. And all this is showing is the price of each coin related to Bitcoin, because every coin has different amounts in circulation, and
Okay.
there's other sites that break down, how many people, not really people, but how much computing power is mining a certain coin, how many
Okay.
new coins are put into circulation every 1 minute, every 10 minutes, every 5 minutes, however fast that they put coins into circulation. So how many people are mining it? How much
Okay.
computing power does it take? There's so many different variables, and that's why everybody's not running software like this. These guys are really, really, really good, and they've been able to write these algorithms that can track all of the different parameters, which there's, when you talk about the most profitable coin to mine, there's probably 20 or 30 different parameters that all have to be put into the equation to figure it out. So it's not something that somebody just goes, hey, let's just mine the most profitable coin. Look at this website and see what it is right now. It can't be it
Okay.
can't be done that way. This is actually really, 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 really complicated. But that's why these guys that have been running this mine for 2 years, they're between 10 and 25% more profitable than other Bitcoin mines out there and other cryptocurrency
Gotcha.
mines out there.
Gotcha. Well, I tell
Right.
you what, I think we've accomplished.
And actually, hang
Share.
on. There's one more
I'm sorry.
thing.
Okay.
One more thing we wanted to cover real quick. If you go back to the whiteboard, another thing how Bitclub Network is different from other cryptocurrency mines is not just what we were
Okay.
talking about, how you're in with the entire pool, not with the computing power that you purchased today. The other thing is that
Okay.
all of those other mines are normally going on a 1-year contract, and with Bitclub Network, you're actually paid for 1,000 days, almost 3 years.
Okay. So my the gentleman that you were talking about that did the, what was it,
Right.
cex.io, and whatever amount that he used to participate with that mine, he's in a
Hmm.
1 year contract, so he makes money 365 days a year. The only challenge for the year for that one
Right.
contract, okay.
Right.
The only challenge with his situation is he's locked in to the computing power that was being run at the time. So six
Correct.
months from now, he's, because he purchased a certain amount of computing power. That's what his
Right.
outlay was for. Okay,
That was his
so he
contract. Right.
okay, so he purchased a certain amount of computing power, and that's going to run for the whole year. So he makes less and less and less and less, and then at the end of the year, um, you
It's
know,
over.
it's over. And you're saying that whether a person joins today and participates or joins 3 years from now and participates, they're always getting the top of the line computing power.
Well, you got to understand
Is that
there's going
right?
to be every kind mixed in there, because you're going to have computing power from 6 months ago that are in the same room, but you're also going to have the
Okay.
new top of the line computing power. But as this grows and grows and grows, it'll be more and more and more and more top of the line computing power being added. And
Okay.
so what $10,000 or $50,000 would purchase today, you might get 20 or 30 or 40 times more computing power for the same amount of money 6 months from now, but everybody's in on all of it,
Got
just
so
being split evenly for
so
each
so
share.
it, instead of saying I'm getting the top of the line computing power, I'm essentially leveraging the top of the line computer power, because even
Yep.
if Big Club Network next week or tomorrow, upgrades, the fact that I'm earning daily, and that a portion of what I'm earning daily goes back into purchasing more power, I'm leveraging the top of the line computer power. And then the big thing that you just mentioned was, instead of 365 days, we're talking 1,000 days,
Right.
almost 3 years.
Right. and
Whoa.
and not just that, but every day a percent is going back in, and when that's going back in, you're getting another percentage of a share. The 1,000 days, like you start getting paid immediately on that percentage of a share, even if it's 0.003, so you have 1.003 after your first
Okay.
day of a share.
Okay.
um, you're going to get paid on that, but the 1,000 days doesn't start until you've hit a full share. So you can have 1.934 of a share, and so you're going to be getting 1.934 of what a share pays for the day, but the 1,000 days hasn't actually started on that 0.934 yet. The 1,000 days is only running on the full share.
So in many cases, it's actually going to be, more than a
Yes,
thousand. Wow. Okay.
absolutely. And not just that, but this isn't where somebody puts their money in and after 1,000 days they're done making money. Every day a percent is going back in. So from their first day, they're going to be making money for more than 1,000 days.
Because what happens is, and well, I guess, I mean, you'll direct me if we talk about that next. What happens is, if a certain percentage is always going back to purchasing more computing power, and that's giving me even fractional percentages of new shares. So now in time, my one share has become two shares over time. Okay,
Correct.
that additional share has at least 1,000 years of earning life, and on the way there, I earned, I went from 1.003 to 1.005 or what have you. That those little
Mhm.
fractional pieces, they're earning until they become a whole piece, which then that whole piece becomes the thousand. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So that's really kind of like in a Zeke reward scenario where people talked about compounding and leveraging, and people went,
Uh-huh.
oh, well, how can this compound? There's no difference in a new person joining and buying a share and someone that was already in, earned Bitcoin from the mining for the day. That's real money coming in.
Gotcha.
And then a
Okay.
percentage of that going back in. There's no difference.
Mm.
It's money that came in from outside that went back in to purchase more equipment. It's that simple. So people can actually compound, and we were doing the math, and there's a lot of variables here, and I want to keep this simple so people don't get too confused, but
Okay.
there's a lot of variables. So I'll just give you a couple variables.
Okay.
So let's say no new computer equipment was installed for 6 days, and a bunch of new people joined BitClub Network. So the Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies that were coming in are split more thinly because there's more people. But then
Sure. Okay.
also, let's say the next day, a bunch of new computer equipment was installed, and now a whole lot more coin came in. Now everybody's daily payout just jumped up a whole lot more.
Gotcha.
And let's say the price of Bitcoin went down 3 or 4% for the day, or let's say the price of Bitcoin went up 3 or 4% for the day, or even 7 or 8% for the day. There's just variables in there.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
so that's why relating it to money, because most people aren't in this space yet. They're learning about it right now.
Gotcha.
Um, but they equate to money. Like, what percent a day would I get? Return on investment would I get?
Gotcha.
And so doing the math, and again, this is all public information and it's just math. So doing the math, we're figuring related to money, and again, there's the
Okay.
different, variables that are going to take
Variable.
place.
Okay.
It looks like it's going to be paying between 0.3 and 0.8% a day. Let's say we average that out at 0.5%, so a half of 1% daily.
Okay,
And
give me
there's
just a
three
moment
different.
before we go anywhere. I want to let me make sure I jot this down and then do a little disclaimer here, okay? Because I got some blog buddies out there that will be watching this, and they like to distort stuff, so bear with me.
Yep,
All
you're
right.
good.
So let's say an average of 0.5%, but this is not a guarantee. All
Remember,
right.
this is
You got
not a
all those
Ponzi
variables.
scheme. A
Gotcha.
Ponzi
Okay.
scheme has basically, in my mind, the definition of a Ponzi scheme is a payout on an investment based on a lie.
Oh, Social Security. I'm sorry. Go on.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Go on. Go on. Go on.
And so, I mean, like when I'm hearing, oh yeah, 0.5% a day, I mean, I'm sorry, 1.5% a day, 1.7% a day, I'm like, what? Like, really? Like, that's not real. This is actual coin being mined that's just being divided by everybody. But if you relate it to money based on everything of today, the math of today, that's where we would be at.
Okay.
Now, a
Okay.
lot of people think that over the next 1 year, Bitcoin can be worth 10 times more. So it'd be 5,000 for one Bitcoin. So you do the math. If it's at 1.8 million a day, it could be at 18 million a day.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Going out the door just in Bitcoin alone.
Gotcha.
Now, if that happened, then these numbers would move drastically up.
Well, you know what though? You know what though? All right, because again, I know I'm new. Folks that are watching this are probably newer as well to understanding cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin and things of that nature. I understand what the revenue sharing model was, and the 1.5% a day or what have you. But the one thing that we got to consider, even if that model was coming from outside sources and it wasn't considered a Ponzi or what have you, even if that was, we've got to remember that most of those systems had a very limited lifespan on the earnings of whatever it was that you had, points or what have you. So maybe
Right.
you had 90 days worth of earning. All right. If
Right.
you're telling me, and I know we're not guaranteeing this, but if you're telling me that 0.3 to 0.8% is kind of like a target, it could be more, it could be less. We get that, a lot of variables, but I'm getting that for 1,000 days.
Right. And we did a little bit of math also, and if someone bought a share in each of the mining pools, the 500, the 1,000, and the 2,000, so they came in for $3,500 into the mining pools, and they rolled the Bitcoin that they earned every single day. They just said, here, buy me more shares, buy me more shares, buy me more shares, because that's an option everybody's going to have, just to say, hey, buy me more share, buy me more shares, buy me more shares, buy me more shares. If everybody did that and it averaged a 0.5% per day, at the end of 1 year, their $3,500 in the mining pool would turn into $21,500 in the mining pool. And then from that point forward, again, if it was at 0.5% a day, they would be bringing in well over $100 a day, which is $3,000 a month. But then,
Okay.
on average,
Okay.
let's say 35% rolls back in automatically, and they pulled out the maximum they could. They're pulling out $2,000 a month in residual income. So their 13th month they'd make about $2,000. Their 14th month they'd make about $2,000.
Wow.
That's $4,000.
Wow.
They only put in $3,500, and they still have another 2 years to go.
Wow. And the reason that is, let me go back, and this is just based on today's numbers. The reason that is, I think it was like 1.8 million
Mm-hmm.
just from with Bitcoin when we saw that money's going somewhere. Someone's mining Bitcoin and Litecoin and Dogecoin and all these other coins that are out there, and somebody's going to be making that money.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
we're talking about billions of dollars. Billions of dollars are going to be paid out in cryptocurrency mining. Somebody's gonna get that money. Why not us? So
Wow.
I mean, so that's what's real powerful about this, is that we can get people to the point, and that's if they never sponsor anybody. I mean, we all know in network marketing, home-based business, whatever, doesn't matter what company it is, 80% of people are never going to sponsor one person. I always hear the
Gotcha.
average is 2. The average is not 2. I sponsor 100 people, you sponsor 100 people, and we just made an average of 2 for 50 people. Yeah, 50 people just
Right,
averaged 2, but really you and I
right,
brought in 200 people.
right, right.
So that's the average, but that's not real. 80% do absolute zero. And this is a real way for every single person to make a profit. Every single
Wow,
person.
wow, 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 wow. Guys, I wanted you to hear what I heard in a private discussion, because once again, when it first came across my desk, I wrote it off. Because the person that sent it to me, I have an immense amount of respect for. I took the time to go through it a little bit, and I was impressed with the numbers, but the numbers alone won't do it. And then he got me in touch with Russ, and the conversation that Russ and I are having now, actually he shared some things that we didn't talk about previously, is what I heard. And when I heard it, I said, okay, I'm in. I get it. I'm with you. Hey, Russ, I don't know if there's anything else you want to talk about right now, or do you want to get to how the pools work? I mean, in terms of,
Yeah, we can. Yeah, yeah,
okay,
absolutely. We can get into that. I mean, again, we're not relating. Like, I don't relate this to just a startup company on the internet that could be big, like a Facebook. I relate
right,
this to being the internet. And so, I mean, there's so many different avenues that we can go down with this, and
okay.
all the different, revenue streams, and, but the Bitcoin mining is just the first revenue stream for everybody. Bitclub Network gets to 100,000 members or a million members. It's all about distribution channel. Just understand there are so many revenue streams that are involved in cryptocurrencies that money can be made from, that all the members will be able to participate in.
Now, without you going through a ton of those options, there was something you shared with me on yesterday, and I don't know if you are comfortable sharing it, publicly or not.
Right.
If you're not, just let me know. But there's something you shared with me on yesterday related to that, when you said, you're T. Lamont, you're just getting a little small sliver. I mean, you're excited about the Bitcoin mining or the cryptocurrency mining. You really don't know where this thing is going, and you shared one or two examples with me. Would you mind sharing that with
Yeah,
our audience?
sure, sure. So, one example is, let's say Bitclub Network starts its own coin. And we do it where, number one, we're mining our own coin, and we figure out a way to get the coin into the members' hands. And you got to understand, when Bitcoin, everybody looks at Bitcoin right now, that it's a little over $500 for one Bitcoin. The very first transaction that took place is, a guy had a pizza store, and Bitcoin was worth almost nothing, but the guy said, all right, I'll give you a pizza for 10,000 Bitcoins.
Ooh,
And
what's
so
the
the
pizza
very first,
cost?
right. And so 10,000 Bitcoins, let's say, I guess Bitcoin was at a penny a piece, that would have been like a $10 pizza or whatever it is. Um, or if it was a tenth of a penny, it's $10 pizza, let's say.
Gotcha,
So it's
gotcha. Okay,
10,000 Bitcoins. So at today's price, those 10,000 Bitcoins would be worth $5 million. So,
whoa.
right, because
Yeah, yeah,
$500
yeah, yeah,
times
yeah, yeah, yeah,
10,000,
yeah,
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 $5 million.
exactly. Okay.
And so if that guy that sold that pizza held onto those Bitcoins until today, and then just decided to sell them today, he
Uh-huh.
would literally have $5 million.
And let's
And
stop for just a
again,
moment. Let's stop for just a
mhm,
moment. Bitcoin itself is how old?
about 5 years.
Now, let me tell you why that I asked you that question. And one of the reasons, again, I wanted to do this webinar. I did a webinar, Russ, the other day, totally different topic, okay? And I asked the question, I wanted to get the demographic, the age demographic of my audience. And I was also asking those folks, what they had set aside for, let's say, call it retirement. And the overwhelming majority of that particular webinar was 40 plus, and the
Right.
overwhelming majority of the webinar attendees didn't have a lot of retirement. I asked questions like, I've got, under 25,000. I've got U.S. dollars. I've got $25,001 to 100,000 or 250, a million, so on and so forth. Most of the people were actually under 25,000 or under, let's say, 100,000. Okay,
Hmm.
and so what I just heard is not only do I have the income potential of the mining, I am being rewarded. I'm being paid. I'm getting my earnings in cash, U.S. dollars. What am I getting my earnings in daily?
No, and no, you're actually earning Bitcoin. Like you're
Okay,
paid in Bitcoin.
all right. So I'm paid in
And
Bitcoin.
yeah, and the mine's mining Bitcoin, so you're paid Bitcoin every single day. And in fact, when somebody's joining, they're sending in Bitcoin, and then you're going to be paid instantly in Bitcoin.
Okay, all right. So and if I needed to convert Bitcoin to U.S. dollars, because
Whatever currency, it doesn't matter what currency it is in the
okay,
world, there's lots of different exchanges all over the
okay,
internet where you can change it into any currency or gold or whatever. In fact, there's a pretty big company that sells gold. Like they're a bullion dealer,
uh-huh.
and since they started accepting Bitcoin, over 60% of their orders, over $10 million worth, are in Bitcoin just in the past couple months.
Oh
And they
wow,
just made the decision that in the next year and a half, they're going to stop taking any fiat currency, and they're only going to accept cryptocurrencies.
wow, wow.
Right.
So,
So you can get your money out, and I mean, again, there's Bitcoin ATMs all over the world, more and more and more popping up every single day. There's exchanges where you can change it into whatever currency. Payza is even involved now in Bitcoin, so you
yeah, I
can
saw
change
that.
it. Like a lot of people have Payza accounts, so
Hmm.
they could have send Bitcoin into their Payza account, turn into cash. Like there's just so many different
Gotcha.
ways to get your money. Yeah.
Gotcha, gotcha. So we were before we got here. I'm sorry, I keep asking these questions. They come up. Before we got here, you were saying that that Bitcoin mining is just one potential revenue stream. This is
Right.
Bitcoin mining. Let's say that's Facebook, but it's not
Right.
the internet.
Right. And so, um, like I was saying, so let's say that we start our own coin
Okay,
and our members are trading the coin. Um, let's say one of the like, let's say the coin, I don't know what it would be at. I mean, I'm just making up a number here. Let's say
okay,
it's at 5 cents, like US dollar. That's the equivalent of it, which, relate that into pounds or,
okay.
rupees or rubles or
Gotcha,
whatever. It doesn't
gotcha.
matter.
Okay, all right.
And people are trading it. And then let's say we go to a company like a Shopify, and Shopify has over 100,000 different merchants. So let's say somebody owned a nail salon in the US, or forget nail salon, let's not go with, I mean, you could do a nail salon, but let's say a candle store. And
Okay,
that company wanted to sell their candles online. They could go to
okay,
Shopify and set up a website. Shopify would set them up a cart, do all of their merchant processing, whole 9 yards. And again,
okay.
Shopify, just this one company has over 100,000 merchants tied into them. Shopify just started taking Bitcoin. So now there are tons and tons and tons of people that are now using Shopify because they can use Bitcoin on
Gotcha.
Shopify.
Okay,
So let's say Bitclub Network has 1 million members and has their own coin. And Bitclub Network went to Shopify and said, hey, we have 1 million members that
mm-hmm,
would love to do business with your 100,000 merchants if
mm-hmm,
you'll accept the Bitclub Network coin.
mm,
So now, all of
mm.
a sudden, that coin's being used all over the place, which is going to make the value drive up. And
Gotcha.
let's say somebody had 100,000 coins that they had gotten for 2 cents or 5 cents a piece, and all of a sudden the coin is worth $7 or $12.
Oh, gotcha,
That's
gotcha,
crazy.
gotcha. So when you say a million, and I go back to cex.io, and I already see they've got more than a quarter of a million active traders with
Right.
an inferior model based on what Bitclub network has.
Right.
I can see a million, and given the fact that I mean, I haven't gone through it, and maybe you hit it, Johnny, on the spot. Maybe you didn't. In terms of what the referral part is, there is a referral network to this. So there's folks like me that love the home business industry, that sees something that's real, that sees that my Joe Average can make some money, even if he's not building a big list or what have you, that's just going to go absolutely hog wild with this thing. And I'm a small fish compared to some other folks. There's a couple other people on the webinar that you just can't hear, and I mean, they dwarf what I've done in this industry. And so I could see a million people very easily, and I know you can't go into all the other potential income streams, and the vision will just get
Hmm.
bigger and bigger and bigger. But now I
Yeah.
understand when you say, hey, this is the internet,
Yeah.
not just Facebook. Facebook is big, but there's a lot more to the internet than Facebook. So the mining is big, huge, but there's a
Okay.
lot
Well,
more
okay.
to it than just the
Okay.
mining.
Let me put it into perspective even more.
Oh gosh. Okay.
cex.io, you'll
Okay.
notice that site is in English, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay, that's in English. And we're talking about Shopify, that's English, mainly US. We're talking about
Yes.
over
Uh-huh.
100,000 businesses in the US. You can even look up, businesses in your area in the US. Because I know we have a lot of people in the US that are going to be listening to this that
Right.
take Bitcoin or trade
Okay.
Bitcoin or have
Okay.
Bitcoin in China is 10 times bigger than the rest of the world combined.
Are you serious?
I'm not even playing a little bit. Yeah.
Wow.
And by the way, BitClub Network's going to be in Chinese,
Wow.
and it's going to be in Russian, and it's going to be in 20 different languages. This is worldwide. We're going to have people from everywhere. I mean, we already have people, and the company's just about to launch, and we already have people lined up from probably, I don't know, 20, 30 countries, and it hasn't even started yet.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. 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 Okay. All right. It's real. I know it's real. Show me how. Show
it's real.
show me how I'm going to make some money. And so I guess, can we start off with just going through the pools for my Joe and Susie Average, not list builders?
Yeah,
How do
sure.
they make money, even by simply participating in the mining pools?
Sure. Okay, so the mining pools, the company set up 3 different mining pools for people to participate in, and it's basically $500, $1,000, and $2,000. And so
Okay.
mining pool 1, and they're all going to pay the same based on money. So if somebody's in mining pool 1 that costs $500, figure that's 1 share. Mining
Okay.
pool 2, that's
Okay.
$1,000, that's based on 2 shares. And mining pool number
Okay.
3, which is $2,000, is basically 4 shares.
Okay.
The
Gotcha.
difference, the difference is in mining pool number 1, you can pull out 50% of all the coin that's mined. The other 50% rolls back in and purchases you another percentage of a share.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
then mining pool number 2, you can pull out 60%, 40% is automatic
Whoops.
repurchase. Mining pool number 3, you can pull out 70%, and 30% is an automatic repurchase.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
that's really the difference. And of course, once it's been running for a while, and let's say people rolled their money for the first year, they're going to want to have as many, and now they want to start pulling money out every single day. They're going to want to pull out the most amount of money possible. And so mining pool number 3 is the one you pull the most amount out, because you can pull out 70%.
Gotcha.
But
Okay.
it's also going to make your payout from the Bitcoin that's mined every day, because there's a percent that's rolling back in as an automatic repurchase. You're getting more and more and more and more and more of a share every day, so you're getting more and more and more and more and more Bitcoin every single day.
Okay. Okay. So, and let me just say again, my disclaimer for our audience. We've said this for years now. In terms of participating with BitClub Network, purchase the computing power, get into the mines, the mining pools based on your comfort level. Don't go out and borrow money. Don't put your family at risk or anything like
Yeah,
that.
no,
This thing
no,
is
no,
not
no,
going
no, no,
anywhere.
no,
This thing's not
no,
going
no.
anywhere, okay, guys? Now, you want to get involved as soon as you see this, if you have not already involved. But this is not going anywhere, so don't put your family at risk. Now, having said that, I see these three pools here. Am I limited to buying just one share
No,
of pool one,
there's
two,
no
or three?
limit. No, there's no limit. I mean, we'll have people that will come in for one share of the 500 and then one share of the 1000 and then 20 shares of the 2000. Like, I mean, there are guys that are going to be coming in, getting, 40, 50,000 in mining pools. But you got to understand, like, there's one mining pool out there I was reading about the other day, and they were talking about what a great price they have on computing power, but to get that price, it was a $1 million 1 year contract. But there's people that do that. I mean, I was also reading about another company, and they're a Bitcoin company,
Okay.
and they got a big investment, and they decided they want to diversify into mining. And so they did a $4 million contract with a mine, and they got a really good deal, and they made back more than their $4 million than they put in like their first, I think like 7 months or whatever it was. So there are people that, no joke, put in $1 million into Bitcoin mining. That is
Oh,
absolutely
wow.
real. I, I
Wow.
mean, I mean, yeah. I
Well,
mean, you gotta understand, some of these mines have 30, 40, $50 million in equipment, and so yeah, that's no joke.
okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
there will be people that put in 30, 40, 50, 80, $100,000 into Bitclub network for the mine. I mean, it's
Gotcha.
no difference
Gotcha.
if they were no difference if they were investing into a gold mine or a silver mine or a diamond mine or a platinum mine or a
Gotcha.
copper mine or whatever. This is a Bitcoin cryptocurrency mine.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. So I've got that. By the way, are there any monthly subscriptions or monthly
No,
auto ship?
no,
$150 a month, $200 a month? None of that.
no, nothing.
Okay.
No.
Okay. All right.
Somebody
So
can come in, pay the $99 one time to join BitClub Network, and BitClub Network is going to have just more and more and more and more and more training and resources all about the entire Bitcoin ecosystem, where somebody could become as much of a pro as they want to become. The guys behind this thing are just absolute cryptocurrency masters. I mean, these guys know the smartest guys I've talked to. I mean, they're just brilliant. And
gotcha.
so
Okay.
that's 99 one time, and then they could put in $500 to buy one share of the one mining pool, and they could never come out of pocket again and be making money every single day. Absolutely.
Wow.
And never refer one person. Absolutely.
Wow. Now, again, guys, purchase as many shares and as many as pools as your resources allow. Just don't hurt yourself. No monthly subscription. No monthly auto ship. All right, that right there. And see, you just think about that right there. If I were to go into traditional network marketing and I said, hey guys, you can make money every single day, no monthly subscription, no monthly auto ship, is $99 admin, and then you've got your choice of the $500, $1,000, 2,000 pool. You can participate in all of them. You can buy as many shares in any of those as you like. Even if we didn't do this 1 hour and whatever it's been talking about what Bitclub mining is, what Bitclub network provides to this industry, most people would say, okay, yeah, I'll try that one. But since we now know that, okay, we've talked a lot about my Joe and Susie average. We talked about a lot about my Joe and Susie average. Tell me about that person who dares to
Sure.
refer this. Maybe they just get this video. They get those first three videos you talked about. Maybe they get this video out or what have you. What happens to them if they refer others as others purchase shares in the mines?
Okay, so the first thing, let's go back for a second to the page you had before
Okay.
there. Um,
This one here?
where you
Or,
no, the one you were writing on, the whiteboard.
okay, the whiteboard. Got you. Okay.
Okay. So again, there's no monthly involved.
Okay.
So I'm in another product-based company, have thousands of people in my group, love the company. I sign people up in that company. It's product-based for 500, 1,000, 1,500, $2,000, and I get paid on those purchases. And then every single month they're on auto ship for
Gotcha.
usually about $130, $140.
Okay.
If they stop purchasing on a monthly basis, my residual income ends.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Okay, where
Gotcha.
this is so different is that if you have a team of 100 people or 1,000 people or 5,000 people or 10,000 people in Bitclub Network,
Okay.
none of them are pulling any more money out of their pocket on a monthly basis. But because they're earning Bitcoin and a percentage of that is an automatic repurchase, purchase or repurchase is a purchase.
Gotcha.
You're going to
Okay.
get paid every single day on every single one of those people.
Mm.
So when we go through the comp plan, I want everybody to keep in mind, we're probably going to be talking about numbers based on people joining and coming in for 500 or 1,000 or 1,500 or 2,000 or 3,500 or whatever it is. And you could make this much on that person, you could make that much on that person.
Okay.
But that's just the beginning. Remember, we talked about 3,500 if they rolled the Bitcoin that was earned every single day. At the end of that 1 year, they'd have $21,500 in Bitcoin, or I'm sorry, in Bitclub Network mining pool shares. You're not getting paid in the comp plan on the 3,500. You're going to be getting paid in the comp plan on the 21,500.
Mm. Mm.
Right. So when we
Mm.
start going through the comp plan, I want everybody to keep in mind, we're not just talking about when they join, we're talking about as they're earning Bitcoin every single day and the automatic repurchases are happening, you're getting paid every single day
Mm.
on it. All right, so let's start running through the
Okay.
comp plan.
Woo. My gosh.
Right. Because
My gosh.
there's
Woo.
no difference. It's real money that's coming in. So there is
Yeah.
no difference
Gotcha.
in that Bitcoin. Remember, 1.8 million a day being mined in just Bitcoin, and
Gotcha.
we're mining even more profitable currencies than that.
Gotcha.
So that's real money coming in, and it doesn't matter if it's an existing person that's doing a repurchase or if it's a new person joining. It's money coming in the
Mm.
door.
Mm. 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 My
All right.
gosh. Okay. I'm ready.
All right. So a couple things. Number one, there's a binary attached to this, and the binary is not supposed to be the big money in this. The
Okay.
binary, because every compensation plan has positives and negatives, just
Okay.
the way
Gotcha.
they are. It's the
Okay.
nature of it.
Okay.
And in the real money part of the comp plan, the level up bonus, there's a potential to not get paid on some people that are in your organization. So we
Okay.
put the binary on there to make it where you are going to be making some money on
Okay.
every single person in your organization, but it's not supposed to pay out a lot, and it's real simple. A $500 sale, so in other words, if somebody came in for the $500 pool, that's going to count as one sale. The $1,000 pool is two sales. The $2,000 pool is four sales.
Okay. Give me just a
Whenever
moment. Give
you
me just a moment. I got a little bit
uh-huh,
behind you. Give me a moment. I want to.
uh-huh.
All right. So you're going to be able to make some money on your entire organization. Some money. This is not the big money, but it's
Right,
good money nonetheless. Okay.
right,
All right. And so you said the $500 pool.
right, equals one sale.
Okay.
$1,000 pool is two, and the 2,000
Okay.
pool is four.
Okay. Got it. Got it. Okay.
And whenever you have 20 sales on your left and 20 sales on your right, pops you $500.
Is there any time frame that I have to get those 20 sales on the left and 20 sales on the right?
No, not at all. You do have to sponsor one left, one right, so you can't get a ton of spillover down your left and then put people down your right. You do have to sponsor one on your left, but again, it's everything's going to hold until you hit the qualifications. And the max that anybody can earn is one cycle, so $500 in a day. That's the most anybody can earn on the binary.
Is one cycle for $500 a day. Now,
And
now,
we will have people that will have this capped every single day starting from the first day.
so let me just do this real quickly. This is not the big money. So the max I can make, man, this Bitclub network, the most I can make is 15 grand on the small part of the comp plan a month. That
Right,
was
a
15
month.
grand a month.
But that's if you have one spot. And so it is okay if somebody wanted to get 3 spots. So like let's say they came in for 3,500 on their top spot, and then they sponsored, their wife and their son, you know, left and right.
Mhm.
Company doesn't care about that. It's just
Okay,
mining pool, whatever.
gotcha.
And
Okay,
so they could then have 3 spots, max out the top spot, and then start a third leg, max out the second spot, and then start a fourth
gotcha,
leg, max out the other spot. Because remember, we're talking about 3 sales of 3,500 on one side and 3 sales of 3,500 on the other side. That could be done with 3 people and 3 people,
gotcha,
like
gotcha, gotcha,
in a day. So
gotcha, gotcha.
some people will have that maxed out very quickly. So some people will be running 3 spots, and I know there's some people will be running 7 spots. So, I mean, at 3 spots, that's $45,000 a month. And again, we're talking about
Gotcha,
the
gotcha.
little teeny weeny part of the compensation
Yeah,
plan.
that's a little.
Right.
Okay, all right. So now go, and I've got to tell you what you guys and Gayettes are about to hear is absolutely phenomenal. When I read this, I said, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy!"
Yeah.
And the person who designed this is the person who's been talking to you, Russ. So
Yeah.
Russ, you did a phenomenal job, man. I mean, I know
Thank you.
you've designed comp plans for other companies and things of that nature. This is just absolutely amazing. So I'll let you do your thing, buddy.
Okay. So if we get to the level up part, if you scroll down a little bit to the level up part of the compensation plan, um, the largest money that's ever been made in network marketing that I know of is in Excel communications years ago, and there were people making over $2 million a month, and it was through a coding bonus. So the level up infinity bonus is really based on a coding bonus, and I know a lot of people have heard of, and I hope you don't mind me using other network marketing company
No,
names
no,
on
no, you're
here.
fine. No, 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 not at all.
And and a lot of people are familiar with Empower Network. Some people might not be, but they're a coding bonus plan. And
Okay,
coding bonuses can pay out huge amounts of money. So the
okay,
first thing that's a little different from this, from a lot of other coding bonuses, and a lot of other coding bonus plans have the same type of structure where they'll have where you can come in for this amount or this amount or this amount or this amount or
gotcha.
this amount. And let's say you came in for the small amount and you
Okay,
signed somebody up that came in for the small amount and the next level and the next level and the next level, you'd only get paid in the level you're in, and the other ones would roll above you,
right, 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 right.
and you
Okay,
would lose out on that.
right.
So this is a little bit different, where when we go through this, if somebody started for just the 500 or the 500 and the 1000, but they hadn't come in for the 2000, but they signed somebody up that came in for one of each, so the 500, the 1000, and the 2000,
Okay,
they're going to get paid on the 500 and the 1000 where they can pull out these commissions immediately. On
okay,
the 2000, the commission is going to buy them a share in the 2000. And so as they're making money on the 2000 package, it's going to buy them that share until they have one full share, and then all the commissions they can pull out. So
whoa.
they're not losing anything. It's
Oh, wait a
just
minute.
going to get them the share that they hadn't joined in.
Okay, hold on, hold on, hold on. 'Cause this is important. This is important. Okay, and I'll just put it like this: not losing anything.
Hmm.
So if I didn't have the wherewithal to get a share in each of the pools, $3,500 would be the outlay
Right,
for that, plus the one-time 99.
right.
I referred you. So, I did the 500, I did the 1,000, I think is what the example was.
Right,
All right, so I'm in those two pools. I refer to you, Russ, and you had the wherewithal to do, all three pools there. Now,
right.
what happens again with I would get commissioned on pool
You would get
one,
your
pool
yeah,
two.
you would get
Okay,
your commissions on the pool that you were in for, so 1 and 2,
okay,
but the pool 3, you would get the commissions, but you can't pull them out. They're just going to buy you a share of that
okay,
third pool.
okay,
And so, and I will tell you, there are two different people that I know of right now. One's coming in, and of course, the 99 is a given, but one's coming in for one share of the 1,000, and I got one guy that's coming in for one share of the 2,000. They're not
okay,
getting the other ones. So
okay.
the guy that's coming in for the one share of the 2,000, when he's signing people up and people are joining below him that are getting the 500 and the 1,000,
Uh-huh.
he's not getting those commissions in his hand. They're going to buying him a share in those two pools.
Okay,
But
okay,
he
gotcha.
didn't want to come in for 1,500. He wanted to come in for 2,000.
Okay, okay,
And so when people are coming in for 2,000 below him, he's going to get those commissions where he can pull them out immediately. Just the money he makes on the 500 and the 1,000 are going to buy him the share.
okay, okay.
So not losing anything. So people can come in so it doesn't matter if somebody goes, well, I want to come in for 2,000, but I got to buy the 500 and the 1,000 first. No, you don't. You can just come in for the 2,000. That's fine. And you're just going to earn your way to getting the 500 and the 1,000.
Gotcha, gotcha. Now let me go back to the first example that you had when I say I did the 500, I did the 1,000. I referred to you. You did the 500, the 1,000, and the 2,000. So I'm getting my
Right.
commissions on the 500 and the 1,000, and I didn't lose anything on the 2,000. Instead of me getting the commission, that goes to buy a share in the 2,000
Right.
dollar pool. Now, with that being said, because the commission on that 2,000 is, I'm assuming, is not going to be $2,000, so it would have bought me a
Right.
fractional share. Does that
Bought your
fractional
fractional share.
does that
Right.
fractional share begin earning right
Yep.
away, or does it need to build up to a full share?
Nope. It starts earning right away, but
Gosh,
the 1,000 days doesn't start until it
gosh,
hits a full share.
God, man, and man, I hope you, ladies and gentlemen, got that. That if you don't have the wherewithal, because a lot of times what happens, Russ, is you'll have someone that understands, okay, I want to be in all three pools. I don't have $3,500. I don't want to refer Russ because he may be able to get all three pools, and I'm going to miss out on my commissions, or it's going to be a pass up commission. I don't want to
Right.
lose that, and I didn't lose it. I didn't get necessarily the commission, but I got the fractional share, which, since it's going to pay, it's going to pay until it becomes a full share. I'm still earning on it. Then when it becomes a full share, I've got 1,000 days of earning. I'm going to wind up making a whole lot more money that way anyway.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. I don't lose anything. So let's go back here. Woo. My
Yeah.
goodness. Okay. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay. So the way this is lined out, the first two people that you sponsor are in your team 1.
Okay.
And in that, you're going to make 15% on those first two people. So if they came in for $1,000, you made $150. If they came in for
Gotcha. Okay.
2,000, you made $300. If they came in for 3,500, you made
Okay.
$525.
Okay. Okay.
So real simple. And
Gotcha. That's simple. Okay.
and the way you're paid, and now here's the crazy thing. This is Bitcoin. So when people are sending in Bitcoin, you're being paid in Bitcoin instantly. So as soon as they show as paid and active, instantly you're going to get paid in Bitcoin. You're going to see the transaction on there for you just got paid $525, which came out in Bitcoin at that exact second was this amount of money. So you got this much Bitcoin. You are now paid, and you can go in and request your Bitcoin, and it will be sent to your Bitcoin wallet. Done.
Mm, Now I got to stop
Right.
for just a moment before we go any further, because this is, I think I forgot to bring this back up. This is when you were talking way back here about the dude with the pizza.
Mm-hmm.
I forget where it was. I may be missing it. Okay. for that audience that I had the other night on a webinar that was largely 40 plus, largely didn't have a lot of retirement. And I'm not saying this is a retirement fund, but the potential of the appreciation of the coins because we're being paid in Bitcoin.
Right.
So if sure I can take Bitcoin and I can uh, I'm assuming I can buy fractional shares with that, right? Or can I
Absolutely.
do that?
I mean,
Okay, all
you
right.
can roll whatever you want. I mean, once you have a, I mean, it doesn't even matter. I mean, when you're in and you have a minimum of one share in a pool, doesn't matter which pool, like it could be the 500 pool, once you're in, you can use any commissions that you make from anything to purchase fractional shares. But again, the 1,000 days doesn't
Oh,
start until it's a full share.
wow, wow.
Right.
And so folks, remember there is also the potential appreciation there. You know,
Right.
so
And let me
we're
put that
getting
into
paid in
perspective.
Bitcoin.
Let me put that in perspective. So a lot of people believe that Bitcoin could easily be 10 times its value today 1 year from now. So imagine a year from now,
Mm,
Bitcoin was worth $5,000 for one Bitcoin. Some people are estimating it that they think it could be at 7,000 for one Bitcoin. But regardless, forget that. Again, if you believe the way a lot of other people believe that 5, 6, 7, 8 years from now,
mm,
that Bitcoin is accepted everywhere and most people are using it, if you looked at the price of Bitcoin today compared to 12 million Bitcoins in circulation, you're
mm,
looking at $6 billion in Bitcoin. If everybody's using it and people are buying into the Bitcoin ecosystem, if only 2% of the world's money was put into Bitcoin, 2%, each Bitcoin would be worth over $700,000.
Oh gosh.
Now, the beautiful thing about this is that if I want to send you 50 cents, I mean, that's one big thing about Bitcoin that people love is these charities. How do you send a charity a dollar? It doesn't make
Right.
any sense to send them a dollar. Where with this, you can send a charity 50 cents or 25 cents or 10 cents in Bitcoin because you can send 0.000000001 Bitcoin. And so literally you could send a penny or a fraction of a penny if you wanted to, and there's really no cost involved with it.
Wow.
And so it doesn't matter if Bitcoin eventually is $700,000 for a Bitcoin, you could still send somebody a penny if you wanted
Gotcha.
to.
Gotcha. Gotcha. My gosh. Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, just think about
Man,
the
man,
US
man.
dollar. Think about the US dollar. What did $100 buy 50 years ago? And what does $100 buy today? Things didn't get more expensive. The US dollar got less worth anything.
Yeah, right, right. Wow. So my first two that I enroll, all right, which I need to enroll at least
Yep.
two anyway to be on my left and my right in the
For the binary,
binary
right?
to start earning the binary. So I'm going to get a 15% level up bonus. I'm not going
Right.
to lose out on anything if I wasn't in all of the pools. That just means that that money
Right.
would go to buy fractional shares of that particular pool that I wasn't already a part of, and then I'm already starting to
Correct.
earn on that to grow that to ultimately get to a full share, so on and so forth. Okay, now
Right.
my third person, fourth person, fifth person, what happens?
Well, let's cover the team one a little bit more. So
Okay,
let's
okay,
say those people sponsor some people.
okay,
You're actually not getting a level up bonus on your first two's people that they bring in,
okay.
but you do have them in the binary. That's why the binary's there, because you're going to be
Gotcha,
getting paid on all of those sales in the binary. This is the one negative. Again, all compensation plans have positives and negatives. So this is
gotcha,
a negative part of this comp plan, and that's why I put the binary there to overcome this negative. But
gotcha.
trust me, if you're a builder, this negative turns into a massive, insane positive here, starting with your third person.
Okay, so this starts my second team. Okay, go on.
Right. So now the third, fourth, and fifth person that you bring in, you're going to get an additional 5%. So 20%. So again, if they came in for the $1,000 pool, you just made $200. If they came in for the 2,000 pool, you made $400. If they came in for the 500
Okay.
pool, you made $100. If they came in for all three, you just made
Gotcha.
$700.
Gotcha.
$700 instantly.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Okay, so
Gotcha.
now your third, fourth, and fifth, they start bringing people in. On all
Okay.
of their first two, and those first two, and those first two, and
Ah.
those first two through infinity,
Ah.
you're picking up that 5%.
Ah. Okay.
So in
Okay. Let
other
me make
words,
sure I get this. My third person is John. My fourth person is Sue. My fifth person is Mary. Now, when John refers his first two, John's going to get the 15% with those first two referrals as they make their purchases. I'm going to pick up a 5% bonus on his first two. Now, what about when his first two refer their first two?
5%, 5%, 5% on, that's why we call it level up, because they're coming up to your level every time through
What?
infinity.
That's why we're going to ask you. That didn't stop at like a 6 levels or 7 levels. That
Nope.
just keeps. So John's first two, and then those people's first two, and then those people's first two, and those people's first two, and those people's first two, and that's happening for my third, fourth, and fifth referral. So any of the,
Right.
the third, fourth, and fifth, their first two, first two, first two, first two, first two, first two. I'm getting that 5%. Wait a minute, wait a minute. That's when they make their initial purchases. What about what happens every single day?
Actually, if you keep reading on the second to last line and the line below that,
Okay,
so on through infinity on all of their share purchases, even if it's a partial purchase.
that means daily. Does that mean daily?
Daily, every single day, 5% on all of your third, fourth, and fifths. First two, 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 first two.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
Right.
gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
My
imagine, okay, so
heavens.
again, just do the calculations. What's 5% of $3,500?
Okay, let's bring that up. Let's see here.
Should be 175.
35 times. Okay, got you. All right, so $175 there.
So you're making 100. If all those first two, first two, first two, first two, first two came in for 3,500,
Ooh,
you're making
ooh,
175, 175, 175,
mm,
175, 175 through infinity.
mm. And then with that, all right, and it's just going to be paid to me in Bitcoin. With
Yep.
that, I can say, hey, I want my Bitcoin, or I want to
Yep.
convert my Bitcoin. I can go to my wallet and convert that over to cash. I can buy more, at least fractional shares if I want to do that.
Yep.
Oh my
You do
gosh.
whatever you want. But wait,
Oh.
there's more.
Okay. Okay.
So on your sixth, seventh, and eighth people, you're popping up another 5%. So now you're at 25%
Okay.
on any of their purchases. Again, doesn't matter if it's a partial
Mm.
purchase.
Okay.
And remember,
Okay.
when they sponsor their first two, they're making 15, you pick up the additional 10%. So
Oh.
now you're making 10% on all of their first two, and their first two, and their first two, and their first two
Ooh.
through infinity.
Okay.
But let's say any of those first two, first two, first two, first two, they sponsor a third, fourth, and fifth.
Oh.
There's an additional 5% there. So you're going to get 5% on all of those, any of those people, third, fourth, and fifth, and on all of their first five, 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 through infinity.
My goodness. When my buddy sent me this, I forget exactly what the headline was in the email that he sent me. He Skyped me and then he sent me an email. And it was like one of those things like, I don't care what you're doing. I know you're very, very busy. You have to look at this right now. And I was like, yeah, right. And I opened it up and I started just going through this. And this is quite frankly, this is what I said to him. I said, man, this is so much money. It's got to be a Ponzi. There's no way this is legit. It's got to be a Ponzi. It's got to be a Ponzi. But now I understand, you know, he didn't know, he didn't communicate to me. Maybe he didn't know it or understand it at the time that just with Bitcoin, $1.8 million a day is being mined just from
Right.
Bitcoin, not to mention the other 400 plus currencies. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And let's
Oh,
do a little quick tiny sidebar real fast,
okay.
because in some people's minds, I know in my mind, if I was listening to this, I would be thinking, all right, if I'm putting money into a mining pool, the money should be going into computer equipment. How are they paying all these commissions? It's
Okay.
real simple. 40% is going into paying commissions. 40 to 50%, generally about 40%, is going to go into buying computer equipment. And then generally 20%, let's call it 10 to 20%, is going into running the company. Very simple, very easy math. And again, because of the software that these guys have developed that makes our mine more profitable, and there's also other ways I don't want to get into now that they have of making the mine even more profitable.
Okay.
Um, that helps. Plus, everybody's involved in all the total computing power, not locked into power today, and it's
Okay.
paying 1,000 days. So even using, and again, these other mining pools that are out there, they don't put 100% of anybody's money into buying mining equipment.
Right.
They're in
Okay.
it to make a profit.
Got you. Got you.
So there's plenty of money for everybody to be profitable. Again, we've already done the math based on whatever amount of people, 40% of that going to computer equipment. That gives us at this day this much G hash power, which is
Got you.
mining this much coin every single day at this price of the coin. Like, the math's already been done. It works.
Gotcha. 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 Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha.
so with this mine paying this much referral commissions instead of 3%, how fast could we
Mm.
become the largest, most profitable mine in the world?
And see when you shared the vision that the mining is just a part of the vision, you know.
Right,
So if, let's now I can see, you know, we CEX.io had over a quarter of a million active traders based on what I said at that point, which I think people understand now as an inferior type of
right.
model, referral type model. Now I think people are starting to say, yeah, man, he's just a million. That's it. That's all. That's all we're going to have. No, we're going to have a whole
Yep.
lot more than a million. And so now, when you start going that distribution channel and the potential of Shopify and potential of ATM networks and what have you, there is so much money that's going to be there, where the company is going to be very well taken care of, as well as all of us. What do we call? Are we called miners? What are we called? Am I a rep? What am I? Affiliate? What am I?
I don't know. I haven't really talked to them about that. I mean, I didn't ask them what they want to call everybody. And to be
Okay.
honest with you, I don't really think they care. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, these, just so you know, the guys behind this company, they are not networkers at all. They've never had a downline of one person. These
Okay.
guys are programmers and cryptocurrency experts, internet security experts, um, like, and they've consulted with some really, really, really good network marketing people to really set up an incredible program. But they know what they're good at, and they know what they don't know. So, I mean, again, they're really, really smart, and somebody who's really, really smart knows what they don't know.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. So I've got team one, my first two personally enrolled, and then there two and there two and there two and there two and there two. I've got my team two, which is
Well,
my. I'm sorry. That's
your team one. Actually, your team one. You're just making the 15% on those first two.
gotcha.
You're not
Gotcha.
making anything
Gotcha.
below them, but they're in the binary. Remember, all
But
these
then the
people are
binary.
in the binary. Team one, team two,
Gotcha.
team three. Every single person that comes in is in the
Gotcha.
binary.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha there. All right. Team two is my third, fourth, and fifth. Then their first two and first two and first two and first two. Did I get that correct?
Right.
Okay.
Yep. And if
Team
any of
three.
those people,
Mm-hmm.
now real quick on team two, if any of those people sponsor a third, fourth, fifth, sixth, whatever, again, you're not getting paid on those people.
Okay.
They're in your binary. But on team 3, it really starts to open up.
Because team three, those are my sixth, seventh, and eighth,
Right.
and now basically I'm getting those level up bonuses from their first through fifth personally enrolled, right?
Correct.
Gotcha, gotcha. And then so now team four.
And okay, so now we get down to team 4. Now it gets a little
Okay.
out of control because now
Okay.
team 4, um, oops, there's a little mistake on the website. When anyone that you sponsor in your 4 leg gets their level. Oh wait, okay, team 4. I'm sorry, no. I was looking in the wrong spot. Sorry.
Okay. All right.
Team 4. This is your
Okay.
ninth person on, so it doesn't matter if you sponsor 9 people or
Okay.
100 or 200 or 300 people. From your ninth person on, it's a whole new world. So and
Okay.
we all know that in network marketing, the whole thing's really driven by leaders. For the 80% that
Gotcha.
aren't going to do anything, you're going to get paid every single day regardless.
Gotcha.
For
Okay.
those people that really build and don't stop at 8, they go to 9 and then on, it's insane. So on your ninth person on, you're going to get
Mm.
27.5% on any of your people's purchases.
Hold on. Let me
So
just
again,
do
if
this
you
real
do,
quickly.
so do it on 3,500, right?
Whoa, that's almost $1,000, man.
Right. So $962 on every single person that you sponsor if they come in for 3,500. If they come in where they got, one share of the 500, one share of the 1,000, and 10 shares of the 2,000, so they came in for 21,500,
They
you're
could do
making
that.
27. Yeah,
They
you're
could do
making
that.
27.5%. Absolutely.
Whoa, whoa,
And you're
whoa, whoa, whoa,
making
whoa,
20.
whoa, 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 whoa. So that's right. Because there's. Oh.
Right. Yeah, there is no
Oh.
max.
Oh.
Right.
Okay, go on. Whew.
Right.
Wow.
And now, on all of those people from your ninth person on, so imagine you have 50 personally sponsored people.
Okay.
On all of their first two through infinity, you're picking up 12.5%
That's
on all
crazy.
of those people.
Mm.
So again, 12.5% of $3,500, you're looking at, I don't even know what that is, like 400
Okay,
bucks or something.
let's see.
So
Times we do that right there. 437.50.
yeah, 437.50. So just imagine here for a minute.
Mm.
You sponsor 40 people or 20
Okay.
people or 50 people or whatever.
Okay.
And just in those people's first 2 legs,
Mm.
first two, let's say that turned into 1,000 people that had $3,500 purchase. Now, some of them might come in for 2,000, but
Right.
eventually they're going to work themselves up to where they did get 3,500 in
Right.
shares because there's
Right.
automatic repurchase.
Right.
It's $437,000.
Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh wow. Wow. Wow.
Right.
Wow. Wow.
We're not talking about the binary. We're not talking about, we're talking about 1,000 people. If you sponsor 20, 30, 40 people and they got their first two, through infinity, it's insane. And it's not just that, it's you're getting paid on this stuff every single day.
Day. Day. Yeah. Yeah. 'Cause that's the thing. The focus right there was that initial purchase, but this 27.5% on my personally sponsored from nine on.
In fact, let's do a little math real quick. It's going to be a
Okay.
little complicated, but
Okay.
it'll put it into perspective. Let's say somebody really had this scenario happen where from their team 4, they had 1,000 people that joined with 3,500 in that group of first two,
Okay.
first two. So it's 1,000 people that came with
Okay.
3,500. That
Okay.
equals that.
Okay.
And then let's say, just based on the math, it averaged out to where in Bitcoin they were earning 0.5% on a daily basis. So times 0.5.
Did I do that right? Hold on. Let's do this again. What was it? It was 350,000, I believe it was, right?
It's 3.5 million.
Excuse me. So it was 1,000 times 3,500.
Right.
All right, 3.5 million times
Right.
point
Point
zero zero
five.
five. That'll be my
No, 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 no.
0.5%.
No, it should be, yeah, 0.05. 0.05.
0.05 would be 5%.
Oh, you're right. Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry. Yeah, that's correct. That's
All
correct.
right,
That's correct.
point zero zero 0.005. Okay, or I could have just done that times 0.05%. So 0.005 is the same thing. 17,500 is what that number comes up to that those folks generated that day.
No, that's no that no that's
That's not
that's not
that's
no
not right.
that's not right because
Okay,
because
hold on.
if you did that times two,
Let's go back. All right. Let's go back.
no problem.
So we've got 1,000 folks, right?
Right, times
At
3,500.
3,500,
Mm-hmm.
3.5 million, right?
Right, and then
Okay.
times 0.5%.
17,500.
I guess it was right. All right, so okay, so 17,500. All right,
Okay.
so at that number right there, let's say on average, 35% of that is rolling back in on a daily basis.
Okay. So of the 17,500, because
Right,
in the first pool there's a 50% roll in, roll back.
right,
On the second pool of 1,000, there's 40%, and then there's 30% on the 2,000. So you're saying if I took
right.
this
Just
times
average it at
35%,
35% because most of it will be in the 30.
okay, 61.25.
Okay, and then you're going to get paid
Ooh,
12.5% of that every single day.
that's $765.
Every day, just from the Bitcoin that's being mined, just on
Mm,
your group four, your team fours, first two, first two, first two, first two, first two.
mm, mm, mm.
Now, imagine if you had 10,000 people.
mm, mm.
I'm telling you, this can get out of control.
Yeah. But again, when you consider,
So,
going back to the statement that you made, you're looking at this in relationship to the internet, not just Facebook, not just Amazon, not even
right.
those are huge sites. This, I mean, and who else is doing it like you are doing it? My gosh, wow. Mm,
Nothing that I've seen. I mean,
right.
yeah, I mean, I haven't seen anything else out there like that. Now, there might be somebody else doing it like this, but not that I've heard of. But you never know. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there, but I haven't
Okay,
seen it.
so we're at the 12.5%. I'm saying some 7.5s here and 2.5. So walk me through this real quick. My
Right.
gosh.
So, right.
Okay.
So, okay. So your ninth person. Now, well, first you got your ninth person, first two, first two, first two. You're making 12.5%. If any
Gotcha.
of those first twos sponsor a third, fourth, and fifth, you're making 7.5% on all of those, and their first five, first five, first five, first five, first five, and then
Mm-hmm.
on their sixth, seventh, and eighth people anywhere in there, you're making 2.5% on all of their first eight, first eight, first eight, first eight, first eight, first eight, first eight through infinity.
Mm,
Now remember, that's just on your ninth person's first twos group,
mm,
and if those people do anything. So on
mm,
your ninth person's third, fourth, and fifth, you're making 7.5%, and you're making 7.5% on all of their first five, first five, first five, first five, first five, first five. And on any of those first fives, if they get a six, seven, and eighth, you're making 2.5% on all of their first eight, first eight, first eight, first eight, first eight, first eight.
So now we're down here. Okay, got you. Okay.
Right. And then if you're no, we're not even down there yet.
We're not
We're not
down
even
there
to
yet?
we're not to the team 4 bonus yet. No.
Okay,
So,
okay.
and then your ninth person, they get their sixth, seventh, and eighth person. You're going to make 2.5% on those, and you're going to make 2.5% on all of their first eight, first eight, first eight, first eight,
First
first
eight
eight,
for
first
wow.
eight. But then normally, when they hit their ninth person, now you'd be
Right.
blocked. That's the team 4 bonus. So
Ah.
let's say you sponsored a T. Lamont
Okay.
that sponsors 100 people.
Okay.
You're not blocked on that person's ninth person on. That's the team 4 bonus. So even if I sponsored you and you sponsored 100 people, from your ninth person on, I'm making 2.5% on every single
Wow.
person. Doesn't matter how many people you sponsor, and
Wow.
I'm making 2.5% on all of those people's first eight, first eight, first
There
eight,
we go.
first eight, first eight, first eight, through infinity, and on every single purchase or partial purchase. That means you're getting paid on all those people every single day. Now people go 2.5%. That's not much money. What's 2.5% of $3,500?
8750.
And that could be on 10,000 people.
Right. Wow. Wow. And then still on the
And you're
daily
getting paid
earnings.
every single day. I mean, even if you're making 30 cents a day, what's 30 cents a day times 10,000?
Let's do that one. That's a big fun number to have. Is that right? 3,000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're making $90,000 a month just
Oh
on
my
30
God.
cents a day from the Bitcoin mining, making I mean, that's a small percentage we're talking about. It's
Wow.
crazy. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. My gosh.
All right, and
Let,
again, that's you have 10,000 people in your group, you're making 30 cents on average a day. Some people might be making $1 or $2 or $3 a day. Some people you might be making, 5 cents or 9 cents or whatever. But let's say you average out at 30 cents. You're making $90,000 a month if not one new person joined.
now mm.
It's crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the reason we wanted to do this video is so that you could hear what I heard when I first got this chart, and I started going through the chart. I went back to the gentleman who's, as I'm doing this, it hasn't even launched yet. He'll be my sponsor, and I said, "Look, man, I respect you, buddy, but this got the big P written all over it, man. You can't pay out that kind of money." That's because I didn't understand where the money was coming from in terms of the mining, and then the bigger picture, well beyond the mining. Russ, as we start, I guess, to start to round third, I mean, if you want to share some more, and I may even break this down into where there's different modules so people can get all of this in bite-sized pieces, maybe not at an all 2-hour type webinar.
Right.
What would you say? What would you say to anyone that's watching this? What would be your call to action to them?
Well, it's real simple. This is real, and it ain't going anywhere, and it's only going to get bigger. I mean, do your own research. Go look up cryptocurrencies. Go look up Bitcoin. Go look up Bitcoin mining. Read all the news that's not just happening in the U.S., but all over the world.
Right.
I mean, this is beyond real, and it's big. And again, the one statement that kind of encompasses the vision that I have personally is that 15 years ago, everybody knew about the internet and 2% of people were on it. And most people didn't get into really understanding the internet in the very, very, very beginning because they thought it was way too complicated.
Right.
In the beginning, it was kind of complicated. Just like right now, Bitcoin mining, if you want to do it on your own, it is complicated.
Gotcha.
But we've set it up to make it very, very simple for everybody. But if we all knew then what we know now, we would be billionaires like all of these other owners of internet based companies that saw the vision in the beginning, got
Right.
into it, learned it, and could see the future basically.
Mm.
And we've set this up so nobody needs to see the future to take advantage of this. They can just get involved. Now, is somebody just going to get involved with this and become a billionaire? Absolutely not. No way. Again, if you want to, become a programmer and start some kind of Bitcoin type company, maybe you could. There will be Bitcoin billionaires. Absolutely. But again, the vision of this is there was a time on the internet, everybody knew about it, 2% of people were involved, and if you really understood then what you know
Mm.
now,
Mm.
you could have been a billionaire. And you're at that point right now with cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin where everybody's heard of it, but very few people understand it and are using it. But if you really get in and understand it, you'll see that everybody is going to be using it.
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8 years from now, all businesses will be taking it. I'm going to tell you guys right now, if any of you own a business in the US, in Ireland, in Brazil, anywhere in the world, if you own a business, if you want to get more customers, start accepting Bitcoin and put it out there that you accept Bitcoin. There are tons and tons of different apps for phones where people can look up businesses around them that accept Bitcoin, and there are
Okay.
people that look for businesses specifically that accept Bitcoin. There are thousands and thousands of people that have stopped using normal money and only use Bitcoin. In fact, they just documented a trip that a whole family took across the country over a 30-day period of time and only used Bitcoin for the
Wow.
entire trip.
Wow. Wow.
So, I mean, that's the whole thing, is that we're in so early, but most people, they don't want to be in early. But that's where the money is.
Wow. Which is why, ladies and gentlemen, I thought it was necessary to have this webinar, or at least this recording, and it might be in different modules, so that you understand it as you undertake it. There'll probably be people that'll be doing presentations or video presentations in 20 or 30 minutes, but I want you to understand it as you undertake it, because I don't want you to do what I almost did. I almost missed this because I just dismissed it. I almost missed this. Now, it would have come back because I would have heard about the people making money and what have you, but gosh, why not get started now? Why not get started now? Wow. Okay, so how does a person get started? Obviously, they'll need to get back to whoever, if they're watching this in like a video sharing site, ladies and gentlemen, get back to the person that referred this video or this video series to you, and get their referral link. But once they get the referral link, then what?
Well, there's a couple different ways. The simplest way is when you go to sign up, the company accepts Bitcoin and I'm pretty sure Bitcoin only. And so when somebody signs up and they choose what they want to be a part of, whether it's when the 99's a given, but if they want to be part of, the 500 or the 2000 or all three, or whatever it is, they choose it. They're going to be given a unique Bitcoin wallet address that they will set up their own Bitcoin account. It doesn't matter if you use, and there's different companies like
Okay.
Coinbase.com or blockchain.info. You'll want to set up a Bitcoin account and get your account funded, and that could take a couple days to get it funded through one of these companies. But then you will send Bitcoin from your wallet that you
Okay.
have funded to the wallet address that the company gave you when you enrolled.
Okay.
So the company will actually have an invoice for you. As soon as that is sent in, it matches it up. You're done instantaneously, and then the commissions are paid instantaneously. And
Okay.
you'll see the
Okay.
ledger in there, and your Bitcoin is available for you to pull out if you're the one that signed that new person up. A
Okay.
couple
Okay.
other options. Let's say that T. Lamont is signing you up, and you go, hey T, I want to get signed up right now. I'm going to get my Bitcoin wallet set up with one of these companies. I'm going to get it funded. So hopefully that'll be available in the next 2 or 3 days. And T. Lamont says, hey, I've been earning Bitcoin. Um, I have Bank of America. I have whatever, bank account. If you want, go deposit cash in my account. Let me know as soon as you did it, and I'll transfer you the Bitcoin. So set up your wallet, send me your wallet address. Let me know when you deposit the money in my account, or PayPal me, or whatever it is. You can send the money directly to someone in your upline that's already been earning commissions, and then they can shoot you the Bitcoin that you can use. Or there's even an option where someone in your upline, you shot them the money, they have the Bitcoin in their account right now, because let's say they haven't pulled it out yet, it's still sitting in their account.
Okay.
They can actually use the Bitcoin in their BitClub network account to pay that person's invoice.
So if I'm a leader and I've got Bitcoin sitting in my Bitcoin e-wallet, or which is different than my BitClub network system. So I've got Bitcoin sitting in my e-wallet. Let's say maybe if it's Coinbase or what have you,
Right.
and or if I have Bitcoin sitting in my BitClub network e-wallet because I've gotten commissions and I'm getting
Right.
paid in Bitcoin, then as a leader, um, I could help facilitate someone getting in the
Yep.
whole model quicker.
Yep. Because
Gotcha.
there's a transfer mechanism, and it'll just say on there, do you want to pay an invoice? And you just put the invoice number in there, so that person that already created account and has an invoice number already, they can give you that invoice number. You just type it in, and boom, it just paid for that person, but they already gave you cash.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Now, again, I know we're probably getting closer to rounding third and sliding into home. That's a baseball analogy for those of you who understand baseball. Um, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that are watching this that are leaders in other companies that have large teams making a lot of money. And while they're intrigued, they don't want to stop doing what they're doing because what they're doing is working and they're making money. Um,
Hmm.
you were mentioning to me that you've got a very, very, very large network all across the globe, and I think you're in like a product type
Yeah.
company. Okay,
Yep.
are you stopping that? Have you left
No,
that
no,
company?
no, 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 no. In fact, I'm doing a really, really, really big meeting in 2 days. We're going to have a ton of people coming in from all over, and I'm the one doing the presentation, doing the meeting. I'm not stopping what I'm doing. Not
So,
at all.
this is not one of those things, because this is one of the things that leaders get concerned about, obviously, where if I promote Bit Club Network, then everything else I had going on, I've got to stop. That's not the case.
Oh, not at all. No, 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 no.
Okay,
Mm-mm.
okay. Well, listen. So, ladies and gentlemen, however you're seeing this, whether it's a full webinar, whether it's a number of modules, get back with whoever got you to this information, and go on and get their registration link. What I love about this, Russ, is even if someone doesn't join me or even join my team, the fact that they join and they participate in the mining pools uh, means that we really all are a part of the team. Because if someone else
Absolutely.
joins the pool, someone else is making purchases in the pool, somebody else is winning in the pool, and now all of a sudden we are 100,000, half a million, 1 million plus, and then you're able to go to some of these other places because of distribution, and we've got our own coin now, and mining our own coin. I mean, that
Yep.
helps everybody. My
And,
gosh.
and even to a bigger extent than I think you even just explained. Think about it this way. Let's say it's a year from now and the company has 100,000 people involved, and somebody only has a team of 500 out of the 100,000, and they're like, oh yeah, people are joining, all these other teams. But when everybody's building the entire company and the entire mining pool, it's more faster computer equipment that's being
Mm,
purchased all the time, which is going to
mm-hmm.
make your 500 people more Bitcoin every day, which you're going to be getting paid a
Got,
percentage of
gotcha.
every single day.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Wow. Well, buddy, let me give it to you for you to slide into home and close out this piece. What's last or parting words do you want to have for our audience?
It's real simple. I hope you got the vision of what we've tried to share with you. And regardless, if I'm involved, if T. Lamont's involved, or if any of you get involved, billions of dollars is going to someone that's mining cryptocurrencies. Somebody's going to get that money. Period. End of story.
Mm,
Billions and billions of dollars.
mm,
I want my piece of that action.
mm,
And this is set up to where I can help every single person I know get a piece of that action.
mm. Wow.
So, I mean, even if Bitclub Network never started, somebody's getting that money. I mean, most people like to say, "Oh, this company's going to be so big with or without you or me." Look, Bitcoin is going to be so big without you or me or without Bitclub
Right.
Network.
That's right.
Like, period. So, I'm just trying to cash in on all this money that I just realized was flying around. Why couldn't I be the pizza guy that
Mm,
sold a pizza for 10,000 Bitcoins in the beginning? I have
mm.
$5 million in my pocket right now for one pizza. So,
Wow.
I mean, that's what's really going on here. And so, if somebody gets involved, doesn't get involved, gets involved for a little bit, gets involved for a lot, the money is there.
Mm,
Period.
mm. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to visit your future. Whether you watch this all at one time, whether you watch this in pieces, in modules, again, we'll probably break this down by the time you see this in multiple modules so you can digest it. Get back to the person that referred you to this training, um, get their referral link, go on and get started. $99 is a given. If you've got the resources to get into all three pools, do so. If you've got the resources to get into all three pools and even multiple shares, do so. If all you have is enough to get started, ladies and gentlemen. Get started. Wow, get
Even
started.
if
So,
look, even if you got to team up with 5 people where all of you put in $120 each, and you start with one spot and work your way up to where you end up getting, a spot for each of you, figure out a way,
mm,
because this is going big. I mean, I don't care how somebody has to do it. Figure it out, even if you got to put a team together to work together with in the beginning. Get in and get started, because I mean, this is going to spread everywhere really, really quickly.
well, listen, Russ, I want to thank you, sir. By the way, Russ, when people get started, I know we've got some great, very short videos that explain like mining and things of that nature. You've done such a phenomenal job
Oh,
of sharing
wasn't
this.
me. I wish I could take credit on the videos, but those weren't me.
Okay, okay. Well, you've done a phenomenal job here today. Let me ask
Thanks.
you, will there be for people that want to do some of the digging? Not everybody needed everything that we covered, but a lot of people did. Will there be some type of training that the company will have or what have you that at least hits some of the highlights of what you
Actually,
discussed?
actually, that's what the $99 is for. Because there is going to be tons and tons and
Okay.
tons of training and resources. That's what people are paying the $99 for,
Oh.
the BitClub Network membership. Because this is,
Ah.
yeah, they want to teach people to be Bitcoin experts. And once you guys really start learning about Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, you might be to the point where you might get to the point where everywhere you go, when you go to a restaurant or you go to get your nails done or go to get your dry cleaning done or whatever it is, and you go to pay and you go, do you accept Bitcoin? And they
Mm,
go, oh, no, I don't. Like, oh, well, you should accept Bitcoin. What's Bitcoin? Here, watch this
gotcha.
video, and
Gotcha.
here's where you can go to start accepting Bitcoin. And I actually normally look for businesses that accept Bitcoin, and there's tons here. And the more the word spreads, because again,
Mm,
everybody's heard of it, most people don't understand it, and
mhm.
there are people that are Bitcoin advocates that have literally helped 100 businesses personally in their local area start accepting Bitcoin.
Mm.
So imagine if we have a million people all telling all the businesses, hey, if you don't start accepting Bitcoin, I'm taking my business elsewhere.
Oh,
I'm telling you, the vision here, like, and everybody that's listening, I want you guys to understand, you only got half of it. There's so much more, and it just gets more and more and more amazing as you go down the rabbit hole.
well, listen, buddy. Russ, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My sponsor who's on the webinar, I just muted out. Thank you. My sponsor, who I have just as much respect for. Thank you, thank you. I really appreciate what you guys have put together with Bitclub Network. Again, ladies and gentlemen, get back to the person that referred you to this series of trainings. Get their referral link, join with them, the $99. Um, Decide, what pools you're going to get involved with. Hopefully, you got the resources to get involved in pools 1, 2, and 3. If not, get started. Get started. And while you're going to be earning on a daily basis, and you may be saying, I'm not good at recruiting and I'm not good at sponsoring and I don't have a list. Ladies and gentlemen, refer people to the videos. Get people to the videos because there's a lot of people that are going to be upset with you
Yeah,
if they find out a year from now, 2 years from now, that you were there a year earlier or 2 years earlier and you didn't tell them, because somebody's going to tell them. Somebody's going to tell them. Okay. So Russ, thank you so much. Russ, if you just hold there, I'm going to go on and stop the recording.
yeah. And
And
thank you for having me, and welcome
gosh,
everybody.
gosh, man, I appreciate it. Gosh, I appreciate it. Okay, give me a moment, Russ.